Hello everyone and welcome to the next video on my channel, and in this video we'll do the end dream screen. So I made a video about that, but it was not so good. I got a lot of feedback about it on Discord, so I did to work. I take all the feedback and made it happen, right? So as you see, I'm on team mode. I have two teams right now. Like you can have whatever you want, but it's basically last standing team. Okay, so we have team 1 and team 2. Okay, I have my friend on team 2, so when I kill this debug bot, boom, we just teleported both to the end game screen, and you can emote as you want. As you see, there's no worry about that. So you can write something, and also he can emote, as you see. So yeah, that's no worry about that. I just read the longer end game screen, not worried about the the duration of this, just to showcase you how it's worked. Okay, and when we go to UEFN and we go to end game screen system, as you see, we have a lot of options here, and we have check teams. Okay, and when I change this up to, for example, check one player left, okay, it will check for one player left, but without the debug bots, as you see, so without NPCs. We have also option for NPCs, so if we're using NPCs, it's basically checking the last standing with NPCs. Okay, so it's also counting the NPCs. And here, when using check one player left, you need to change the teleport prop to here, because we have the team's teleport prop, like for all your how much teams you want. For example, team size, for example, you have 8 players in team, you need 8 teleporters here. Okay, so I will add the single one for one player, push the changes, and see you guys when I push the changes. Okay, so my session loaded. So when I drop a star, and as you see, I have last player standing, so without this dummy player, so I don't need to kill him, and the game still will end. So I kill. Oh, he's in team. Okay, I need to. And yeah, the game is end. I can dance or whatever. You can manipulate with the teleport prop, like where your player you want to be teleported, and everything. The scenery, all is on your end. Okay, and also we have the check NPC. So here we need to kill the NPC. So basically, I will not showcase you because I think you know what I mean. Let's go to Verse code and let's make this happen, right? So yeah. Okay, so I'm in the session, like the new one. Let's go to Verse Explorer, and let's create a new Verse file named endgame system. You can name it whatever you want. I will name it endgame system. Okay, let's open our Verse file, delete that useless comment, and let's create a new class which will be endgame data. Okay, and here we will have all the data, and we need to add concrete specifier to use editable. Okay, so without concrete you cannot use editable in classes. Okay, so let's start with first editable, which will be the end game animation. Okay, and this basically is cinematic sequence device. So basically we will do animation, like you can mess around with cinematic sequence device, because we have a lot of options in that, and this is actually crazy, what you can do with this device. So yeah, you can really mess around with this endgame animation. Okay, next is endgame device, which will be basically an endgame device. Okay, and is equals to endgame device. Okay, next is teleport prop. Okay, so this is creative prop is equals to creative prop, and this basically is the teleport prop to single player. So if you have checked one player left or check NPCs, it will teleport player to this prop after all he will be the last player standing. And if you want teams, we need to add editable teleport team props. Okay, so also it's an array of creative props, so we need to add brackets here, and instead of creative prop as a value, we need to provide an empty array. Okay, next is cinematic time, which is a float, and I will go with default value to 5.0. Okay, so 5 seconds. It's in seconds, it's not minutes, it's seconds. Okay, and next is our logic variables. First will be check teams, and keep in mind you can use only one, you cannot use multiple ones. So this basically if you want to check teams. Okay, next is check one player left, and this is without NPCs, so basically one player left, without NPCs, without teams. It's basically check players. And next is check NPCs. So this basically will check players and the NPCs, okay? So last player NPC or player, so it's up to you. Okay. Next is teleport team. Oh no, sorry, we have that. Next is teams used in game. Okay, so basically we have like 100 teams in Fortnite. So I just use team used in game. Just in case, you know, if you use only 3 teams, for example, or 4 teams, like you have some zone wars or whatever, and you use only 4 teams, so I would, you know, want to make this system the most efficient as it could be. So we only will loop through 4 teams instead of, you know, 100 teams. So it will increase your game performance. So that's why we're using team using games. I need to just fill it up, and it will increase your game performance. Okay, like yeah, okay. And type and okay, where x is an integer, okay, where from range 1, okay, x is less than 100. Okay, so basically you cannot use teams like at 200 because there's no 200 team. It's from 1 to 100, okay? So this is basically range that you can set it up from 1 to 100, okay? And it's array of this, so how much you only want. Okay, so next is at the table here in our endgame system. At the table end game data. This end game data is equals to endgame data, so we'll just basically get all the devices and everything from this data. Okay, and next is var team used in game. So let's do it again here, because this will be a team, not the indexes. So as you see, we have here the indexes of the team, and here like not the indexes, because indexes start from 0, and that's why I started from 1 to 100. So you can, you know, easily, if you don't have like the most verse experience, you can, you know, just type, for example, 5, and this will be team 5 instead of team 6, okay, if you don't know what index is. So that's why we're using team here to, you know, count teams instead of indexes like here. Okay, so let's set it up in onboarding real quick. So all teams is basically get play space dot get team collection. Okay, so you're getting that team collection and get teams. So we getting the all teams. If I hold control and left click on that, returns an array of all teams known to this 4 team collection, so our 100 teams, okay? And get play space you can only use in the class that have creative device, like inherits from creative device, okay? So yeah, if you, for example, want to use it in the class without creative device, you'll get the error. Okay, so we need to loop through, so for loop, and team index is basically end game data that teams used in game. So we're basically looping through this array with our indexes. Okay, and if team colon equals all teams at the index team index -1, because as I said, we starting index from 0 and we starting here from 1, so we need to add -1. Okay, and if this will be true, we need to set team used plus equals array with our team team used in game, sorry, with our team. Okay, so basically we, you know, here we're looping through all the indexes and we're getting the team through our array all teams. Okay, and we're just adding it. Okay, so let's start from creating a function check for players first. So this will be a loop where we checking every single, you know, aspect, like based on what you select here. Okay, and this is suspense because this is async, so it's a loop basically. So let's sleep for 2 seconds at first, because I don't think your game will end in 2 seconds, and we need to wait till everything load up. Okay, so every player will load into the game, and every like your other devices will happen, like ranked system or whatever you only want to like have on your map. So let's wait for that 2 seconds. Nothing really happen. You can change it to 1 second if this, you know, is too long for you. It's, you know, no worries. And sleep for 1 second divided by 10 seconds, so like 10, so it's basically 10 FPS. Maybe I'll add FPS here. I think it's only okay, so let's do it with 5. It's, you know, we want to keep the game performance as efficient as it could be, and 5 seconds is pretty cool. I on the example show you on the 5 seconds, and yeah, I think it was good. Okay, so let's start with, if you want to check that to make it faster or whatever, you can change that to whatever time you only want, like 0.0, but this also will work very well. And yeah, okay, so get play space and that get players, so this is basically array of all players, even the dead ones, so every single one of them. Okay, and let's start from if statement, so if endgame data that, and what we call that, check teams is equals to true. Okay, and next is else if, so we can basically copy that here, condition, and change the check teams to check one player left. Let's copy that and paste, shift up here and check NPCs. Okay, so check NPC, and as I told you, we can only select one, you can only select one, not multiple ones, because we have else if. So if this happen, this one is ignored, if this happen, the rest is ignored. So yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so let's leave this it is for now, and let's create another function named endgame. Okay, and here we need to provide agent. Okay, and this is also a suspense, because we have void equals return for now. Okay, and why we have suspense here? Because we need to wait for our cinematic time. Okay, so yeah, that's why we have that. Okay, and here we also need to add these conditions, because we have another, like, different endings on every single type. Okay, and after that, after all the if statements, we can end game data that end game animation play for everyone, so we don't need to provide agent here. Okay, sleep for end game data that cinematic, maybe duration. Yeah, duration will be better. Okay, cinematic duration, and end game data that end game device that activate. Okay, and here we need to provide agent, so when we want to activate the end game device, we need to provide an agent actually, so we cannot provide like nothing. Okay, so that's why we have agent here. Okay, so let's create a function that we will need to like handle all the logic here. So first will be for our array of players, so players and player, and that get alive players. Okay, so this is basically extension function. So okay, and this will return the player. So this will return us an alive players from this array. Okay, so basically we will check if this player is alive or not, so we can use that in some example if you want to check for if players is alive. Okay, so var alive players, and this is array of agent equals to array. Okay, and we want to return that, so return alive players. And okay, we need to change that to player, sorry. I don't know what is wrong with me, but yeah. Okay, so next is for the loop through player, and yeah, for each loop through players array. Okay, and our element is like player. Okay, and we need to get the Fortnite character, so fc is player that get Fort character, but we get the error. And why? Because we need to add using Fortnite.com characters. Okay, so let's go to our very top and let's add it here. Okay, and we need to do check if Fortnite character is active. We want to set alive players plus equals array with player. Oh, players. Okay. So basically, FC is active is checking if Fortnite character is active in game. So we have player is active also, but player is active checking for like player is in session. Okay, and Fortnite character is active checking if player is in game. So basically not spectating, not dead, but is in actually game. Okay, so let's copy that function and let's paste it here and just change it to agent. Wait it to agent. It was wrong. Agent. Okay, agents here, and get alive agents. Okay, for players here, let's change that name for agent instead of players. Here and also here. Okay, and let's change it to alive agents, the name, and here we will return the array of agent instead of players, and let's change these variable names. Okay. So that's it. Now we can create a function, also an extension function, and we need to provide the teams. So this array of team, and that get alive teams. Okay, so basically instead of get alive agents or players, we'll get alive teams. Okay, so basically if someone is alive in that team. Okay, so we'll return an array of teams. Okay, so var alive teams is an array of team. Okay, teams, sorry, not teams, an array, and and we want to return that, so alive teams. Okay, and we need to get the team collection, so we can just copy that from our onboarding here, team collection. Okay, and for to loop through every single team, so for team and our array of teams, so for loop through our teams array. Okay, and if team agents is team collection that get agents from our team that we're looping through. Okay, so basically getting every single agent in this team, and alive agents is team agents that get alive agents. Okay, and we have the error. Okay, this function that has no rollback. Okay, so what we do in this case, if we have no rollback, we just need to add a transacts, but not here, before the colon here, transacts. Okay, basically add the specifier, and boom, everything works fine. Okay, and next, if alive agents is greater than 0, so some of the agents are alive, alive agent than length, sorry, because it's returning as an array, actually, yeah. So then set alive teams plus equals array with our team. So basically team, oh sorry, so basically we're checking if there's any alive agent in this team. If yes, like this is check if yes, so greater than 0, and if yes, we want to set alive teams plus equals array with team. Okay, and we have to need that, so very easy. Okay, and the last functions is to an agent, so agent and teleport player, or agent actually, because we're providing agent, to a prop, so prop creative prop. Okay, and this will actually have a suspense here and void equals. Okay, so if index of our player is get play space, oh typo, get play space get players. Okay, so we're getting all the players in the play space, but we need to add find our agent. Okay, so this is basically an array of players, and we're finding our agent that we need to provide here. Okay, and if that, we get the Fortnite harder, so agent get Fort harder. Okay, and prop transform, also transform, because we'll teleport player to prop transform, so prop that get transform. Okay, and after that we need to fc that teleport to the prop transform that translation, and the prop transform that rotation. Okay, so that's why we don't teleport player to only prop transform. That's why, because transform, as you see here, have also the scale. Okay, and as you maybe know, may not, we cannot change the scale of the player, so yeah, we cannot scale him, for example, down or up. That's kinda sad, but yeah, it is what it is. And then we need to sleep through 0.1 second. Okay, so let's make sure like everything teleport player, and the player is the rotation and everything. And after that we need to add fc that put in status, I guess something like that, stasis, I guess, yeah, put the stasis, and stasis arcs. Okay, and here we need to provide two parameters, which is the allow emotes. Okay, and this is true, and allow falling. Okay, and this is also true. Okay, so we need to, if you want your players to dance on your ending screen, you need to type allow emotes to true, and if you don't want, you can set it up to false. If you want your player to fall like from up to down, you can set it up to true. If not, you can set it up to false. It's up to you. Okay. Next is agents and array of agent, and the name of this function is teleport players. Okay, and here we need to provide props, so multiple props, not only one. It's basically for teleporting our wait, let me finish typing it. It's basically for teleporting our team's players. Okay, so we need to provide only the agents in the team and the props that we want to teleport them to. So as you see here, we have the teleport team props. Okay, and this is array of creative prop. Okay, so we basically will provide this to here. Okay, so let's delete this return, and var new props is basically an array of creative prop, but we need to use shuffle, okay, to props. So if you don't use shuffle and just teleport players, for example, by his index, let's also add the verse or random here, so we can use shuffle. So when you try to teleport players by index, it will always be like in the same place, in the same teleport, and I just want to make it dynamic, so players change the teleport, not get teleported to the same prop, and change this position. Okay, so for idx, so index basically from 0 to agents dot length. Okay, so basically we're getting the length of this agents array, and -1 because we're working on indexes, so we need to add -1. As you know, index counting from 1 to 3, 4, and the index is counting from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's basically the same, but index is starting from 0. Okay, next is if agent, so we need to basically get the agents from our agents array at our index that we get here, and the prop is basically new props from also the index. Okay, so it's basically shuffled, so yeah, we can work on the index right now. And after that, we can then spawn our agent that teleport player to prop. Okay, teleport agent actually. Okay, and also we can change the name here, teleport agents, to be better. Okay, so basically spawning this function that we created here. I think it's clear. Okay, so let's go here, and if endgame data.check teams is equal to true, okay, we want to add team, get the team collection, so we can go here and just copy this team collection from there. Okay, and get the alive teams from our function. So alive teams is a team used in game. I guess I called it like that. Yeah, team used in game. That get alive teams. Okay, so basically, as you see, providing our array of teams at the beginning. That get alive teams. So that's what we do here. See, here's an array of teams. As you see here, it's a type of array of teams, and that get alive teams. Okay. So next is if alive teams that length is less or equals 1. So basically, less or equals 1. So basically, the last team standing. Okay. And next is if agents is team collection that get agents from alive team at the index 0. So basically index 0 is the last standing team because it's the only team that left. So we can do it that way. And here we need to get the random agents from these agents to activate the endgame device, but it will still activate it for our whole team, so no worries about that. We just need to provide any agent. Okay, so after that we need to spawn our endgame function. That's why we're spawning it, because we have suspense. Like, we have suspense here, but we just want to spawn it. Okay, it's better for performance. Okay, and break this loop. We don't want this loop anymore. Okay, and here we need to provide an else if, just in case if something gets wrong, we don't have any agents and something like that. You don't want your game to crash out and how it's called? I don't know. I don't know. We don't want to game to crash, right? In reverse route, okay? And send all the players to the lobby, right? That's the word I cannot find, okay? So all players at the index 0. So basically we just getting the any players like the first one and end game for this player, just in case. It shouldn't happen, but you know, double check is, you know, the best that you can. Wait, we can. Oh, okay, I type it wrong. That's. Oh, I type here wrong. Okay, so let's fix that. Okay, so check one player left is alive players. Okay, so I need to provide alive players, and it's basically all players that get alive players. So that's our function. As you see, we provided the array of players. Okay, so this is basically array of players like this here. Okay, so here we're getting the all alive players. Okay, and after that we're checking if alive players is less length is less or equals 1. So basically the same checking as here, and basically the same if segments. We can just copy that, and instead of here we can use alive players at the index 0. Okay, and this is basically our agent, so not array of agent, but that's just an agent. Okay, and the same else if here, just in case if you know something went wrong, we need to, you know, be prepared. Okay, and here we need to get the all participants. Okay, so this basically get play space. Okay, that get participants, and when I go to the dots, I get like the reference to this in the dots. We have get all agents that are I can't read it. Participating in the current fourth play space experience. Participants might be human players of player type or AI controlled characters of type agent type that are registered and affecting the participants count. So basically the debug players, all the guards, and you know, everything that you have on your map. Okay, and next is alive players. Okay, so alive participants, not players, because you know NPC is not a player technically. So all participants that get alive agents, just as you see, it's returning as an array of agent, not a player like the get players function here. It returns as array of players, and this returns an array of agents. Okay, so that's why we have get alive agents. Okay, and basically the same if statements, so we can just copy this if statements and paste it here. Okay, and let's change that to alive participants left. Okay, and do that thing, like just, you know, change that a little bit. Okay, so that's it in our check for players. So we can spawn it in our own building. So let's spawn check for players just in case, so we don't forget. Okay, and let's start it to our endgame function where it is. Okay, here, and let's start from check teams. So we need the team collections, so let's just copy that, and also the alive teams. So let's copy that here. Okay, and also we can we may use this if statement. Okay, but just remove the agent from here. Okay, and agents that teleport players, okay, to the end game data that teleport team props. And we have teleport agents, right? Yeah, I changed that names. Okay, sorry. And we get something wrong. And this function parameter tuple is. Oh, right. I don't know. Okay, typo. Sorry. Okay, so let's go to our else if here, and we just need to provide agent that teleport player and end game data that teleport prop. Also teleport agent, not player. What is wrong with me? Okay, agent. And also the same thing here. Okay, so we can just copy and paste that. And that's basically it in the verse code. Let's build our verse code here, like, yeah. Let's go to content browser and let's drag our endgame system to our experience, right? Okay, so I want to check one player left. Okay, so I will check that, and I will need one prop, so I will create a new folder named BP, and let's create the blueprint class, building prop, and BP underscore teleport prop. Okay, so let's create that, open that. Like, we don't even need to open that. Like, if you want, you can add sphere here to sphere, so you can know where this teleport prop is, but I will not use that. I will, no, I just, trust my intuition, I guess. Okay, but yeah, firstly, let's build some scenario here. So let's go to Fortnite, and I will type floor tile. Okay, and I think I will go with this one. I don't like that. Yeah, I'll go with this one, it's better. Okay, 3x2, okay, and some wall. Wall flat, maybe. You can find something better. Okay, maybe not flat, because only the agency things, I guess. So we can find something cool here. Okay, maybe this thing. Oh, where's the texture of it? Or this, one of these two. It's not so good. Do you have something cool here? I have thousands of the same problem with the doors. It's kinda weird. Maybe I'm scrolling up and down, I know. Oh, this is cool actually. Yeah, but I want them in the other way. What's going on? Okay, maybe this one? Yeah, this one looks better. Okay, let's rotate that. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay, and let's search for some plant. Okay, let's go on the very top. And yeah, this looks fine. And maybe this one. Okay, search for couch. This is some elegant one, something like that. And it's the same color, no? Yeah, and some also the couch like that, and the table. Yeah, this looks cool. Okay, so let's make this work better. Okay, so let's place a couch like that. Okay, let's copy that. Minus 140 and minus 100. Okay. Okay, let's copy that plant right there. Okay, boom, boom, boom. I'm not a builder, just in case if you're inspired on me, I just freestyling. So yeah. Okay, so we'll select this all with shift, copy that, rotate that with 180 degrees. Okay. And if you want to go to rotation mode, you can click 80 on your keyboard. And if you want to, moving, just W. And on Q you have selecting, W, as you see here, you have the shortcuts E and the R. So Q, W, A, R. Okay. So basically, pretty simple but useful thing. Okay, so let's place it like that. Okay. The plant here, let's shift. Oh, it's not at the center. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and maybe some paintings. So paint. Okay, as you see, building is not that hard, like you just type in what you want to find and freestyling. So yeah, but this will actually look better on this one, I guess. Okay, so let's go to with 2. Okay, go here with also 2. Okay, and maybe here with this one. Okay, also with two. Okay, something like that. I think this look good, I guess. Okay, so since we have last player standing, then let's go to devices, AI, and get the Howard device. Okay, so we can see where we have our player to be. So for example, I want my player to be here, like at the center. If you have, for example, 4 players on your team, then change the positions somewhere like that. Boom, boom, boom. This one here, this one here, this one here, or whatever. You can mess around with that. It's really up to you. I will go with here, and I will place my teleport prop here. Okay, and since we have allow falling, I will go with upper somewhere here to player fall, so it will rotate better, I guess. Okay, and yeah, it will have also the nice effect. Okay, next let's go and create a folder cinematics. Okay, and let's open the create a level sequence. Okay, and CSM, I will name it CSM that and game. Okay, let's open that, and let's add from here, from this cube prefab plus, the cinematics. Go to cinematics and sign camera actor. Okay, let's rotate that by 180 degrees, and I will go with 10 length, I guess. Oh, I should probably leave my mannequin, I guess. Yeah, let's place it again. How is it called? Character, I guess. Yeah, character. Okay, so I will just copy the location here and drag it down so I know where the player will be. Okay. So, okay, somewhere like that. And let's delete that thing. Okay, and let's open our sequence and let's click on add actor to track, add cinema actor. Okay, and click on this plus here, new transform. Okay, and let's maybe position how we want it to be. So for example, something like that maybe. Okay, let's click on this plus so it will update. Okay, and I will go to rotation and change that to better one, so -20, and so it will be just better. Okay, maybe the location to not this side, left a bit. Okay, like that. Okay, let's save that, and we can close that. That's it. You can if you want to exit the camera mode, you can click on this arrow here. Okay, click on that and you exit it. And you can leave it like here or just drag it under the map if you don't want it to be shown here. And let's delete this hard device. Okay, so let's go to devices and let's search for cinematic sequence device. Okay, and let's select our CSM endgame. Okay, loop playback because it's we want to loop this. Okay, so because we have custom time, so we will end it from code. So let's loop that here, and that's it here. Okay. Let's go to Verse device and let's connect that. And let's also search for endgame device. Okay, and we want to activating team here. And activating team, oh no, let's leave that on default. Okay. And what to end, we want to end the round. Okay, and everything else leave on default. So let's connect that, our teleport prop. So let's search for teleport prop. Okay. And team, we don't checking team, we're checking one player left. Okay, cinematic duration 5 seconds, looks good. And yeah, team using games, we don't use any teams, but if you use any teams, you can just add it here, and you can type whatever team you want. 5, for example, use 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this team indexes, and that's it if you want to use it. Okay, so let's also place an item spawner, because I forgot to place it, sorry. Item spawner with 0 seconds, so we don't need to wait, and some gun here, so assault rifle L5. Okay, yeah, let's push the changes and see you guys when I push the changes. Okay, so yeah, I'm in the session. Let's drop an assault rifle and boom. Yeah, I can, as you see, I can dance. Boom, I can perform some dances, and the round is end. and yeah, I get to the edit mode because I don't change like how much runs do I want. So when I go to my Iceland settings, I can change the total runs to, for example, 100. Okay, so now it will end the round and continue. Okay, so that was it in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learn how to create an entry stream and learn something from me, because yeah, I try to explain it the best I only could. So I hope you guys learned something today about Verse, about how to program in Verse, and yeah, if so, you can leave a like and subscribe. I will really appreciate that. And if you want code from this video or from any other video on my channel, you can, go to the link in the description and find a Discord and join my Discord. It's completely free, you don't need to invite some friends or whatever. Just join and go to the tutorials channel and you will find every single code from every single video on my channel, okay? So that is it, and see you guys in the next one.